everybody, to Vol Society Live. Another Wednesday night is upon us, and we are back live on YouTube. And of course, we've been on Facebook the last few weeks, but we're not on the American online internet anymore. We are back on our regular streaming platforms and stuff like that. I got to kind of get used to being back in front of a camera without using a phone. But we are back. Speaking of back, we are back in black. The top news story of the day. By the way, my name is David Morrison. I am the Vol Society analyst. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/UT Society. And indeed, if you saw this afternoon on our Vol Society Facebook page, you saw that Tennessee, for the first time since Halloween night 2009, we will be breaking out black uniforms. As I have my only black UT shirt I can find right now. It's exciting to see a kind of a spin on tradition. And we're going to talk about the new uniforms and what's your thoughts on it. And I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation. I mean, that's kind of been the talk the last 7-8 hours on the campus of the University of Tennessee. Is these new uniforms probably been going on a little bit longer than that. We'll also recap the Missouri game from last Saturday. Big win for Tennessee, 63-14, a total beatdown. I text Brad at the end of the first quarter. I said, ring the bell, it's over. And indeed it was. And that was very nice to see. Of course, we will preview Saturday's game against South Carolina, 12 noon kickoff on ESPN2. Anish Sharab, Mike Goley Jr., and Taylor Davis will be on the call from Knoxville. We will also get an update on the women's soccer team, doing some great stuff along with the volleyball team. Baseball releases schedule this week, and we'll talk about a chance to check out the UT baseball team earlier this season. Matter of fact, in just a couple of weeks down in Chattanooga on October the 23rd. We'll talk about that. Plus, we have our chat room going. I will be reading your questions throughout the night and be answering as we go along through the show. All right, so let's talk about the new uniforms. And hello to my grandparents who just are tuning in. As we got a good crowd here tonight. New uniforms, black uniforms. So I may have been dreaming this, or I thought I saw something over the summer about Tennessee was going to release some a black jersey or black uniform style. So I felt like over the summer I saw Alumni Hall was going to sell some black jerseys before the season started, and then all of a sudden I didn't see nothing further. And like going to UT games, I didn't even see nobody have a black jersey, and kind of looking on the Vol shop and Fanatics, I never saw it again. So I kind of, and then this afternoon, I went back on Alumni Hall's social media pages and couldn't find the picture anymore. So either I dreamed it, that I saw it over the summer, or maybe they accidentally leaked it early. But this morning, the UT shop and Fanatics and Alumni Hall announced that they was selling a black jersey, and rumbling started to happen. I guess it even happened the day before about Tennessee was going to break out an all black uniform, and I was kind of expecting that to happen sometime throughout the season, just kind of when and where. So about 1:00, Tennessee posted a teaser picture on their social media page and says dark mode. Like when you adjust your cell phone, you turn it on dark mode to have a dark background. So, and then just shortly after, we saw the reveal video for our Week 6 uniform reveal, and it started out, I think it's D. Beckwith who's in the video. You had the traditional Tennessee uniform, and it was kind of flashing like light into dark, and then the big reveal. the dark uniforms, dark mode is what they're calling it. And as soon as after they posted it, uh, they were already selling it all over their pages and stuff, or their stores, and Fanatics already had it up, like the t-shirt, the jerseys, and then the t-shirts and other merchandise. And it's happening. And even the helmet is a little bit different. It's still the traditional white helmet with the power T, but with the black outline around the T, and the black stripe, and the black face mask. And apparently, I meant to look this up before I went on the air. Apparently, Tennessee has always had a black face mask, and apparently there's some pictures of Eric Berry and the late Jesse Mahalola wearing a Tennessee helmet with a black face mask. So definitely you have to check it out after we sign off tonight. But they look. I personally, I think they look great. I can't. I'm kind of shocked that we're breaking it out this soon. Against South Carolina. My cousin texted me during lunch and said, if they break them out, where would you want to see them? And I thought Ole Miss would be kind of appropriate. It's a night game, black uniforms. Lane Kiffin was the one that kind of started the black uniforms when, ironically enough, when we played South Carolina. And, I thought that would be kind of appropriate. Brad asked me, have I bought the jersey yet? I have not yet. I haven't bought it. I may have to eventually. Like I said, I know I went on Fanatics like as soon as it launched, and somebody bought one like less than 5 minutes ago. As you can kind of, if you've ever been on Fanatics, it usually tells the last thing that somebody purchased. So I think it's so far it's been a hit. And the thing is, when it comes to uniforms, and I will say this, I'm a traditional college football fan. I like traditional rivalries and traditional conferences and uniforms to a certain extent, but the kids like it. The kids that is, believe it or not, almost 20 years younger than me, they like the fashion and like the just the uniforms in general, and just what they kind of look like. We're more of an appearance society now. And a lot of recruits, whenever they come to campus and they tour the facilities and the stadium and they go to the locker room, they always take a picture of them in the uniform. And most of the time, kids, especially if you have an alternate uniform, they won't necessarily grab the traditional home uniform or the road uniform. They always they would always dress in a alternate uniform. Matter of fact, when Trevor Lawrence, and there's a picture online, when he took the tour at the University of Tennessee, he is in a smoky gray uniform. And I've seen other kids that came through Tennessee that would do the same thing and elsewhere. Did I see the video release of the kids seeing the uniform? Yes, I did before we went on there, and they went crazy about knocking that poor guy down as soon as he revealed it. By the way, Brad posted through Ball Society 25% off final purchase today on the Tennessee website. So if you're interested in it, go get you some black merchandise. The only thing I've found, I've got this shirt. It's not a officially licensed UT shirt. I got it on Facebook a few years ago. And then I have a black toboggan, but it's like 70 degrees in my house, and I'm not going to put that on right now. So, but yeah, like I said, it's more the kids like the style. And of course, I think Johnny Billings mentioned in a comment, I don't care what they wear as long as they win. But I'm happy for the kids. I'm happy for the fan base, kind of, shaking it up a little bit without going too crazy into it. So definitely going to be very interesting. And it's been, like I said, it's been the hot topic the last, I guess less than 24 hours at the University of Tennessee. All right. Switching over from uniforms, let's talk about last Saturday. Another team that traditionally wears black uniforms, the Missouri Tigers. Yeah, Mr. Burrows, my band director. Nice. Good to join us here tonight, sir. Kids and old folks like the black jerseys. I think so. Switching over to Missouri, 63-14, the final score. Tennessee whooped up on the Missouri Tigers. I think I was the only person besides Las Vegas, who thought this was going to be close. I actually picked Tennessee to win, but I thought it was going to be coming down to like a Chase McGrath game-winning field goal, and it definitely wasn't. I did get Missouri's score right, but I didn't think we would get 63. But to me, and when we had this discussion over the weekend, was it Missouri was that bad or were we that good? And a lot of people came up with both, and I certainly agree. I think Missouri's defense looks really bad, especially on the defensive line, which for the last several years, Missouri's defensive line has been one of the best in the SEC. Whether they had Shane Ray or Shelton Richardson on the line, and they don't have those guys anymore. And Tennessee exposed Missouri's front seven, and just big gash after big gash. And I will give the Tennessee coaching staff credit because we've had a lot of offensive linemen been banged up all year. Cade Mace has been banged up. Cooper Mays gutted it out through the Florida game. Dane Davis got injured last Saturday, but gutted out for the most part. And that's what was kind of concerned me is like, I know Missouri's defense has been bad, but I just don't know how our offensive line is going to attack these guys. We got a lot of new guys coming in there, but kudos to Tennessee's coaching staff for getting this team ready and play Missouri and put up, 640 yards of total offense. And it was fantastic to watch on Saturday. Tennessee just dominating an SEC opponent, and it's been a long time since we've done. Kind of getting you some numbers here from last Saturday. Hendon Hooker had a great game on Saturday, 15 for 19, 225 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. And we need to see that about every week. I know it's not going to happen every week, but it's nice to see Hendon Hooker coming to his own. He also had 14 carries for 74 yards and a rushing touchdown. And Hooker right now is currently 5th in all of college football in passing efficiency, 68.5%. So he's doing the little things right. And, we've talked about the quarterback battles for several weeks between Joe Milton and Hendon Hooker and even Harrison Bailey. There's no debate right now. Hendon Hooker is QB number 1 at the University of Tennessee. And we're seeing his numbers really blossom right now. On the year so far, he has 838 yards through the air, 10 touchdowns, and only 1 interception, and that was in the Pitt game, which unfortunately is the one that kind of cost us. Yanni said South Carolina's averaging nearly 2 takeaways per game. If we take care of the ball, we will win easily. Yeah, definitely so. And when we get to the South Carolina preview, that's going to be kind of the concern to me is that Gamecock defense. But continuing on here, Tyon Evans had a great game. 15 carries, 156 yards, 3 touchdowns. Probably should have had 5 touchdowns if them 2 didn't get called back, which I know Hooker got one of those touchdowns back. But I think the other 2 should have counted, but it is what it is. And Lynette Whitehead had a nice game coming in, with Jabari Small going out with a shoulder injury early on. He came in and picked it right up, 9 carries for 76 yards, and was named freshman of the week in the SEC, and along with Cade Mays, who was also named SEC Offensive Lineman of the Week. So, telling you what, Tennessee put up big numbers, and the rewards are paying off via the SEC. Ms. Kay says, so far, Hooker is the man, but time will tell, and definitely will. And like I said, Hooker is definitely QB1 right now. Unless, hopefully he stays healthy. And that's the big thing is he needs to stay healthy because we've already seen what Milton can do. We've seen a little bit with what Bailey can do. But, I think right now Hendon Hooker, just like I said, just stay healthy and continue to make the right decisions. And, like I said, he had a great game against Missouri, and I think he has another opportunity to do pretty well against South Carolina. Like I said, just a nice win for Tennessee. Exciting building block, and as Josh Heupel said, the tip of the iceberg, or the freaking iceberg, to be exact words. So let's see how can Tennessee continue the momentum into South Carolina. All right, let's switch over to the Gamecocks really quick. So I kind of looked at South Carolina's numbers so far, and they kind of had a down year. Well, I wouldn't say a down year, but definitely you can tell this is a new coaching staff, new system that is in Columbus. They started their season with the grad transfer at quarterback and Zeb Noblin, and then he ended up getting injured. I believe it was East Carolina or maybe Georgia. He got injured, and then Luke Doty, who was supposed to be the starter day one, is now the quarterback. And South Carolina has not really thrown the ball very well. Matter of fact, last Saturday against Troy is the first time that any of their South Carolina quarterbacks has went over 200 yards. He ended up throwing for 225 last Saturday in kind of a ugly game with the Trojans, which a lot of people kind of thought that was almost a toss-up game, to be exact. Running the ball, they haven't really run the ball that well either. I think it was in the opener. South Carolina had a 100-yard rusher, but then the last few weeks it's been probably like less than 50 yards our leading rusher has had. So it proves to me that South Carolina is probably throwing the ball. Sponsored. Vol Society is no way sponsored by Dr. Pepper. No, we are not sponsored by Dr. Pepper. This is all cash out of my wallet. But if Dr. Pepper is watching, we will definitely pick up a sponsorship from y'all. No questions asked. Anyways, but the interesting stat for me, I really picked up on. South Carolina is only 36% on third downs, and Tennessee has given up third downs 68% of the time. So third downs to me is going to be a big crucial factor. Obviously, at Neyland Stadium, if you've been there, we have the big, song that comes on at third down. You hear it's third down, and the crowd's involved and stuff. And most of the time it works, and a lot of times it doesn't. But I think third down conversion is going to be big when South Carolina has the ball. Like I said, they struggled to convert on third downs, but Tennessee's giving up a lot. So, like I said, I want to see that secondary really step up and stop these third downs. And even our front seven, our defensive line and our linebackers stop and sack the quarterback. And we've pressured the quarterback some and definitely did a good job last week stopping Connor Basilick. But I really think we need to put some more pressure on the quarterback, really turn up the heat, especially on third down. And South Carolina has really struggled on it. And they've given up 27 sacks so far this year. Unfortunately, we've given up 29 of our own. So, like I said, it's going to come down, I think, to some defensive plays for the most part. And Johnny mentioned this earlier about South Carolina. Like I said, they really get on defense, and they definitely have. Like I said, I read that one of their players I think already got 4 interceptions on the year. And like I said, that's going to be kind of a key factor for Hendon Hooker to make the right decisions. Like I said, because South Carolina definitely is going to be ready for him and all that. We're seeing some scores coming in. Johnny's saying 38-13. Mr. Burrow says 38-10. Yeah, definitely keep your scores predictions coming. I guess if I had to go and take a prediction, I'm going to go with y'all. I'm going to go Tennessee 39, South Carolina 21. 39-21 Tennessee. I think Tennessee will kind of continue the momentum from last Saturday. Like I said, it's going to be a tougher defense we're facing. But like I said, I really like the simple things Tennessee done. Hopefully we get some offensive linemen a little bit healthier to play. And like I said, this is a nice game right here. I wouldn't say a tune-up for Ole Miss because I think South Carolina is I wouldn't say even with us, but definitely can be a bit of a headache, and some people's calling this a trap game before Ole Miss. And Brad said he's going to have his score in a moment. All right. I wouldn't say a trap game for Ole Miss, but definitely a game that Tennessee needs to win, and especially with these new uniforms. And like I said, I kind of wish we broke them out for the Ole Miss game being at night. But I was texting, or somebody texted me about that from my church and a fellow Ball Society follower, and I said maybe they just want to get a win with the new uniforms too. So who knows? Uh, yeah, definitely keep those comments coming on the score prediction. Uh, let's talk about the defense. Tim Banks to me has been a real surprise as far as how the whole season has gone. I mean, yeah, with the Florida game killed us defensively, and but the rest of the time our defense has done fairly well, and I'm loving seeing players step up their game a lot. Elijah Simmons on the defensive line. I didn't think he would have a good year, but he's doing a great job so far. The linebacker core, Jeremy Banks, who's I've mentioned, who's had kind of the up and down UT career on and off the field. Nice interception last week, almost took it to the house. Love seeing the linebacking core really step up. Solomon Page is getting some playing time. Of course, he had a pick six in the Tech game. And then Aaron Beasley has really stepped up nicely for us. He kind of got banged up a little bit last Saturday, but I think he came back and played. So I'm really loving to see this linebacking core really step up. And we talked about Jawan Mitchell. He's, like I said, he's kind of hit the injury bug a little bit, and I think we may have overhyped him a little bit from Texas. But I love seeing everybody else kind of step up their game, and definitely the coaching staff has done a nice job developing these players. I mean, they're not putting up all SEC or all American numbers, but they're doing the simple things right and adding into the rotation, and you have the confidence enough to put them out there and to make a play when need be. I want to see our secondary kind of get rubbed off from the D line and the linebackers. Like I want to see Warren Burrell make a nice play. Alontae Taylor has done a pretty good job for us. I really love Jalen McCullough, another interception for him. Theo Jackson has done a nice job all year for us, and we talked about him, I think, a couple of weeks ago. The numbers he's put up. So, I like our safeties are doing good. I just want to see some more shutdown corners. I want to see Alontae Taylor just wreak havoc kind of the rest of the year on some elite SEC wide receivers. All right, moving on. We'll talk about the other sports going on really quick, and then we'll turn the show over to y'all. I know some of y'all have already chimed in on some questions, and I appreciate it. Continue to do that. Let's quickly talk about women's soccer and volleyball. I want to give them recognition. The women's soccer team right now, 10-1 on the year, 3-1 in the SEC. They will host Florida tomorrow night. They are currently number 12 in the country. And then they will go to South Carolina on Sunday, and that game's going to be on ESPNU, I think, sometime in the afternoon. And then the volleyball team is doing very well, 12-3 on the year, 4-1 in the SEC. They're unfortunately dropped a game to Texas A&M on Sunday, but they have a big series coming up at South Carolina over the weekend too. So it seems like it's South Carolina week all across our sports here. So definitely check them out when need be. And then the Tennessee baseball team released their schedule this week. So definitely check that out on utsports.com. And if you want a sneak preview of the Tennessee baseball team, they will be playing at Chattanooga at the Lookout Stadium on October the 23rd at 1 o'clock against Georgia State. So definitely, if you're in the Chattanooga area, definitely go out there and support the Tennessee baseball team. Like I said, they got an exhibition game with them, and then I believe they play another game somewhere in Tennessee. And then they're having like the Orange and White World Series, inter squad games. And then, of course, their season gets underway in late February. So definitely check that out. All right. Any questions so far? Like I said, as far as games coming up on Saturday, the upcoming schedule throughout the rest of the year, uniform questions. Like I said, it seems like everybody's kind of digging the uniforms and just kind of a lot of confidence. And I'll say this: Brad has already posted his score. He's going 44-27. Tennessee wins. So seems like another kind of a blowout win. The Ball Nation is kind of coming up with. Uh, but any questions so far? Like I said, will we are the Smoky Gray? I guess you're asking about Smoky Gray uniforms. I hadn't heard anything about the Smoky Grays. I hadn't really heard nothing about 'em. I know they're still there at UT, and I know some of the other sports still use the Smoky Grays. I know the baseball team will break them out, and the softball team. But I know they're still on campus. I know, like during the orange and white games, the quarterbacks will have them on. But as far as breaking them out for a game, I mean, maybe. Uh, but like I said, I think the black. It seems like Tennessee's more adjusting to black instead of smoky grays is more of a third color or an alternate color right now, especially kind of they're rolling this out today. So you never know. Brad says Jones and the Smoky Grays are gone, bro. And you may be right. Um, I forgot that is true that he did have them. Johnny Billin says South Carolina has 13 and 16 against SEC teams. So you think the score is more against us? I'm not buying it. Well, yeah, I thought. I don't know. I mean, it's like I said. I think it's going to come down to, like I said, I want to see our secondary really step up and make some plays. I mean, I think I trust Ronnie Garner, our D line coach, and our linebackers. It's just I kind of wonder how our secondary is going to react on not possibly deep balls, but definitely more hitch patterns and like I said, I think I think I don't know, maybe I kind of think they'll score a little bit more than us, but I really love our up tempo offense, and I think we'll get a lot more. Chad says thought of the black uniforms. I like them. Like I said, I kind of like the traditional uniforms, but every once in a while switching it up is good. And like I said, the kids love it. That's the kind of the new norm as far as what you want to wear. And like I said, as long as they're happy and they feel confident and play well, and hopefully they play well on Saturday, I'm all for it. And of course, it's a money game. I mean, college football is definitely a money sport, and well, collegiate athletics in general. And uh, I always say, you put a power tee on something, it will sell. Johnny says he loves the Smoky Grays. I like the Smoky Grays too when we had them. I have matter of fact, I do have a Smoky Gray jersey the last year Tennessee was with Adidas, and I think they were going to break them out for when we switched over 2015 to Nike. So I think it was like during the 2014 or possibly the 2015 schedule where it's a Smoky Gray jersey and it has the orange checkerboards down the sleeves and it says balls on the front. I do have that in my collection, and I usually break that out from time to time when we're up there. Like I said, like I said, the black uniforms do look really cool. Brad says he's traditional, but those uniforms are awesome and intimidating. Thoughts? Yeah, they do definitely look intimidating. I know some people says that we kind of look like Oregon State or Oklahoma State, but I think they look really nice too. Johnny says traditional as well, switching it up on occasion. Yeah, I agree. Like I said, like I said, as long as you kind of keep the tradition going with the not necessarily the uniforms, but with the brand in general, but adding a little bit of spice to it. Yeah, definitely so. Like I said, I'm down for it. I'm excited to see them on Saturday. By the way, kind of switching over to Ole Miss really quick. For me personally, I was looking at see how many games I've been to at UT, and come to find out, next Saturday at Ole Miss will be my 50th game I've ever attended at the University of Tennessee. So, it'd be kind of a cool moment, I guess, for me. I don't know if that's much to talk about, but I mean, it's like I said, it's kind of cool. I didn't think I've been to 50 games, but for the Ole Miss game will be my 50th game I've been to. And my first game I went to, believe it or not, was South Carolina in October of 1999. Philip Foreman was still our head coach, and this is the year after we won the national championship. And Lou Holtz was the head coach at SC, and this is when South Carolina was on their long losing streak. And They were not good at all at the time. Uh, it's pretty cool. Oh, Brad says he's going to make sure they recognize me on the jumbotron. They probably won't even know I'm there. But yeah, that was my first game. Was in 1999. I was in the 8th grade. Actually, I remember that weekend very fully. Of course, I went to Athens Junior High School in Athens, Tennessee, and I remember the day before was our 8th grade trip to Atlanta, and then the next day I went to Neyland Stadium, and I remember that, and I remember when I went to the World of Coca-Cola on that Friday. The everybody's saying, when you go into the international Coke flavor, that try the Beverly out, and everybody's talking about it was this Australian Coke or ginger ale, and I remember trying it, and it was like one of the worst tasting things I've ever had. And I remember the next day drinking a Coke at Neyland Stadium, and I still had that Beverly taste in my mouth. So yeah, so those were good times, and that was a fun trip too. And then going to my first UT game, so that was a fun weekend in general. Brad says, "Go Cougars!" Yep. Brad and I, like I said, a little personal note here. Brad and I, we went to school together pretty much throughout our entire lives. Grew up in the same town, went to high school together, and like I said, and of course we were in Miss Hickman's 8th grade math class, which was the greatest class in school history. Brad says my prediction on Saturday. I'm gonna go Tennessee. What I say, 39-27, Tennessee. So kind of a high scoring game. I'm probably gonna be wrong on that, which hopefully I'm wrong on that. So yeah. Any other questions? Well, this has been really fun tonight. Like I said, with the big news today and a lot of people chiming in. Close one, huh? Yeah. I think Tennessee will have the lead throughout the entire game, but like I said, I kind of want to see our secondary step up and make some big plays. Since 2005, 11 to 16 games have been decided one score or less. It makes it a little nervous. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, for the longest time, this was the closest SEC game that I always played every year, and there's been some nail biters throughout the year, and I've been to a few of them myself. But I can't remember what was last year's score, but I know the 2019 game very well. That was like South Carolina was favorite. I think it was like they were a 3-point favorite, and I remember on game day, Lee Corso predicted in his super dog game underdog game of the week, and he said Tennessee. He's picking them as the super underdog, and he's going to and they're going to he guaranteed a victory, and he was right, and we blew them out by 20. And that was a fun game too. And that was one of my favorite games. I believe it or not, I've been to in the almost 50 games I've been to was, two teams that was kind of in the middle of the road in the SEC, kind of finding out where their next move was. And I remember the whole time standing for that entire South Carolina game. With you, VBS. Okay. Yeah. Brad likes he's all in on hype. I'll pray those days are over. I do too. I really like this coaching staff. I really like that they're more willing to talk to the media, and we're getting more personalities and more inside the program, and not just necessarily just through the head coach or maybe the coordinators. As a matter of fact, I know, of course, Vol Calls goes on at the same time we do. And they each week they've had a different position coach go to Calhoun's with Josh Heupel and talk about their positions and the players. So we're really knowing the players a lot more and just kind of more of the insides of the program and where they're heading. So, and like I said, it seems like the kids are really responding, and it's crazy to think. I was talking to Brad after the game, and Tennessee, if like I said, we obviously I don't think we're going to beat Georgia, and we've already lost to Florida. But I think Tennessee in Josh Heupel's first year, and I'm starting to come around the 7-5 there, Brad. Tennessee has a chance to possibly run the table in the rest of the SEC East. And can you imagine? And depends on how everything lines up. And I'm not buying Kentucky's undefeated streak. I mean, congratulations, they beat Florida last Saturday, going 5-0. But I think they're definitely a pretender 5-0 team, especially since they had to squeak out a win against Chattanooga. But like I said, Tennessee has a chance to possibly finish third, maybe fourth in the SEC East. And, last year was very ugly. I mean, going 3-7 and possibly, obviously, doubling the win total in Josh Heupel's first year and everything that he went through with everybody transferring and, in the transfer portals and just like I said, and it's just simple stuff. And like I said, we know we're not on the level of a Florida, Georgia, Bama yet. We will love to get there, but we should always beat South Carolina, Kentucky, Vandy, Mizzou every year, and still kind of be in that near the upper echelon of the SEC. Heard today they increased from 25 to 32. That's big for us. Yeah, definitely so. Like I said, it's going to, and like I said, obviously recruiting is going to be a big deal. Of course, the big recruit, fingers crossed, that I won is Walter Nolan at Powell High School. I haven't had a chance to get to see him play. They Powell has switched classifications and they're more up towards the upper Knoxville area, so they haven't really floated down to where I'm at. I don't, unless the playoffs kind of change it around. But I would love to see him play before he goes, elsewhere. But that'd be a huge pickup for us, and then other recruits too. And it's going to take getting the Johnnies and Joes to come to UT, and of course the transfer portal is another big thing this year. We've seen it this year, and I think the transfer portal is going to be around forever. You're going to have players that's not going to be fulfilled the promises, and we may be seeing that with Harrison Bailey, where it'd be like, I think I can take my talents elsewhere, and maybe a 4 or 5 star recruit at another school, may not be fulfilled of what he's promised, and then be like, well, I like what's going on with Tennessee. They're having fun out there. Maybe I'll go out there. Take on the Trent Dilfer comments. I'm not sure. Can you clarify on the Dilfer comments? Hadn't read up on that. I've been reading up on everything else, including I've been especially the Urban Meyer drama, which is a soap opera every day. Brad says Bailey will go, and he should. Nothing personal. Yeah, I like Harrison Bailey. I think he's a good kid. He's got all the talents to be good. It's just unfortunate that the system just doesn't fit his style of play. And we talked about this, when it comes to running the ball. And Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton, when they're pressured and holding on the ball, they can escape the pocket and pick up plays. And Harrison Bailey has a little bit of speed, but not enough to really keep the drive going. But I wish him nothing but the best. He seems like a great kid, but it's just kind of that style of offense is just not fit for his style of play. Any others? I'll have to read down that Trent Dilfer comments. One with big gimmick quarterback play doesn't work with the big play. Yeah, you're right. Brad said Urban is the worst and has always been. Yep. Crazy. Yeah, this has been great so far. Thank you for everybody kind of tuning in. Like I said, definitely follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/UT Society. Also on Twitter at Society Vol. Let's get our Twitter page going. We'll definitely put some more content out there. Like I said, we're back on YouTube after a couple of weeks of getting my end fixed as far as internet connection goes. Hopefully it's looking good on there. And like I said, that you'll definitely see our show each and every Wednesday night. You got Brad's reactions and other content all across our YouTube page. And like I said, Facebook is continuing to grow over 4,000. Like I said, we enjoy it. Thank you, Mr. Burrows. Actually, I will be at Walker Valley High School in a couple of weeks when my McMinn Cherokees take on Walker Valley. So hopefully I'll run into you while I'm down there. My high school men play Sweetwater on Friday night, so definitely support local high school football if you can. No, nobody that was drilling with in America is handling the recruiting process better than Hot. Wow, that's great, and that's from Dilfer. Wow, cool. Thank you, Boston Society. Miss K says, "You remember me as a baby?" I'm sure you do. We go back a long ways. Okay, John says, "Yeah, well, that's really good. That's big praise from Trent Dilfer. Of course, he's a high school coach here in the Nashville area. Uh, yeah, that's big praise. But yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you for tuning in. We've gone over 40 minutes tonight talking about new uniforms and recap of Missouri, and we got South Carolina Saturday kickoff at noon on ESPN2. Black uniforms, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see it in the daytime, but hey, that's fine. Like I said, it's the hot thing right now. Might as well wear them. And like I said, then after that, we'll have a big show next Wednesday night as we will preview Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin coming back into town. Like I said, October is a big month for us, not only for the football program, but on Ball Society, and especially our Wednesday night shows. Like I mentioned, we got Ole Miss coming up next Wednesday night. Alabama, the third Saturday in October. Brad said he's going to have his black jersey Saturday. Awesome. I may have to go get one now. And then on Tennessee's bye week, which is, I think, the last week in October, that's the night we're going to do our Tennessee basketball preview since there'll be no football game that week. And I thought that would be the most appropriate time to do our basketball preview for that. And then, like I said, this is a big month in October. Like I said, obviously, this is where the games really get cranked into an next gear, and you really learn a lot about your teams and going on from there. Brad says, "Do it." I'll have to see. All right. We'll go ahead, like I said, and wrap it up. Thank you for everybody tuning in. Thank you for the comments. Good catch up with some people in the comments that I've known, and definitely. Please check us out every Wednesday night, 8:00, as we do game previews and, like I said, and continuing on to support the Vol Society. So until next next Wednesday night, we'll see you right back here on Vol Society Live. Oh, yeah, I will be at Neyland Stadium on Saturday. I will continue to bring the stories on our Facebook page and vlogging throughout the day. So I definitely will be there and bring in some more content. And should be a lot of fun. Until then, have a great Wednesday night and good night. And as always, go Vols. Go black uniforms too. Good night, everyone.